Right, I've just finished doing the other one. Hang on, let's straighten that up a bit. So I've just made a video which I've just put up online, which is just sort of saying why I'm filming my practice sessions, showing myself and just ultimately it's for me. All the practice, all the errors, all the flaws, all the bad language, and me learning the guitar. And then hopefully one day, Eureka, and there'll be video of me playing a song. And who knows, even later on one day, maybe I'll sing, who knows. Yeah, pigs might fly. So I thought I'd make another quick video to sort of follow on with it and just talk about the first 15 months when I started. So I tried learning the guitar. I picked up a guitar when I was 12 years old. It belonged to my older brother. It was just a cheap acoustic. I don't think it was even a well-known club book brand. I don't think it was a K or anything like that. I think it was pretty much unknown. And I picked it up when I was 12, and I'd been involved in sport since I was 7. And at 12, I was convinced myself I was too old to start learning the guitar. Logic of a 12-year-old. And then at 15, I tried again, and it kind of given myself the same attitude. I couldn't get my head around it because I couldn't afford lessons. My parents couldn't afford for me to have lessons anyway. And so again, didn't last and gave it up again. And then when I was 22, I bought a guitar and tried to teach myself with one of the books. And that was just frustrating. And once again, girls, going out, work, trying to earn money, all of that got in the way. And it was only when I was 40 I decided I would like to learn to play the guitar. I'm going to have a couple of lessons. So I bought another guitar because obviously I've sold the previous guitar. And I had about 3 lessons with a guy in Warsash near Southampton, who I think he was actually taught by Joe Satriani. He was a very, very good guitarist. John Grindy, that was his name. And I had about 3 or 4 lessons with him. But again, I was an absolute and utter beginner. And then I moved to Ireland. So again, that was the end of that. Until we all got locked in our houses for that nonsense that went on in 2020, the pandemic. So really, I've stuck at it for 15 months and just using YouTube. And then I hadn't played for the best part of another sort of 15 months. So it was about 18 months and then 15 months. And so because I had my guitar in storage for so long when I moved, and now I'm settled and I've been sort of playing or learning since July again. So I think I've been playing in total with a massive gap, about 22 to nearly 23 months. And I would definitely be better if I would have just been learning for 23 months without a massive gap, because I'm trying to learn properly, and a lot of the things I did teach myself in the first sort of 18 months I've forgotten, and if you don't use it, you lose it. It's as simple as that. But I might want to make another short video just to sort of say, for anyone, if anyone does watch this who is a beginner and is learning and struggling, or is a beginner and hasn't sort of thought about lessons, is there are so many really good teachers on YouTube. If you don't want to go and have lessons with someone, or you can't afford to, a lot of us are tight for money, then there are a lot of really good lessons on YouTube. Having sort of learned from a lot of those in the 18 months, looking back on that 18 months now, I think I wish I'd just stuck with one of them. You do need to kind of try a couple to see which ones you like, because they're all good teachers, but it's like anything else in life. Some people you get on with and some people you don't, and it'll be the same with teachers on YouTube. You might not know them, but it's the way they teach, and it will either appeal to you or it won't, or you'll understand the way they teach a lot better than perhaps the way another person teaches. So, there are hundreds of teachers on YouTube. The most well-known ones obviously are Justin Sandercoe, who I think is Justin Guitar. So I followed his beginner course up to sort of chapter 9 or whatever it was, went up to section 8.3 or section 9 or whatever, and then his videos kind of jumped. You can go on his website and there's a lot of it on there. Then there's Michael Palmisano, who's a guy in America, who, you know, he's kind of gears more towards intermediate and advanced guitarists, but I did register with his website, and there are some free lessons on there for beginners. And there's also backup, you know, you can ask questions to other people that are learning on there, and you can upload videos and that. So yeah, that's Michael Palmisano. So he's very, very good. There's a guy I think he's in New York or whatever, a guy called Marty Schwartz. Sounds very New York. Who, like Justin Sandercoe, is also one of the first teachers that was on YouTube. There's Steve Stein, who I can't remember the name of his channel because it's not in his name, but he's a really good teacher as well. And then I could go on, but there's a video I saw by a guy called Tom Strahl, who's a superb teacher, and he made a video about sort of the tips for older beginners, and it's worth watching. But basically it's just things like, you know, don't put your guitar away, you know, leave it on a stand, but not just on a stand, put it near you, you know, in your living room or wherever you spend your time, so that it's not miles away or out of sight. Don't sort of plan to practice for an hour, because it's like telling yourself, you know, to go to the gym for an hour. You find reasons not to do it. You just go, I'm tired, you know, I haven't got time, and you just won't do it. But if, you know, practice for 5 minutes, and so just, you know, just think, well, I'll just practice for 5 minutes. And some nights I am too knackered, but when I'm not, I do try and pick it up and just think, well, I'll just practice for 5 minutes. And more often than not, I will end up practicing for half an hour or even longer. So that's really good. And also he gave great advice about, you know, film yourself every now and then so you can see where you're getting better, which is why I'm now making this video, and keep records, you know, like a diary, which I've done since the beginning. I mean, I'm on the second one now, and I just put in the day and the time, not the time, but the date and what day of the week it is, how long I've practiced for and what I've practiced. And then at the end of the week, I always add up how long I've practiced for, so I can kind of make myself feel good about myself if I've practiced for quite a few hours, or be annoyed with myself if I haven't practiced for very many. But, you know, don't make yourself practice, just sort of think, well, I'll practice for 5 minutes, and then more often than not, you'll end up practicing longer. So that's all I've got to say at the moment. But just, you know, have a look at the guys on YouTube who teach that I've mentioned: Justin Guitar, Marty Schwartz, Steve Stein. If you put in Steve Stein, how do you spell his surname? I'm not sure if it's Stine. Sorry, Steve. And the name of his channel is Guitar something. So I can't remember. You just have to search for it. Those are the sort of the 3 I recommend. And also Angela Petrelli. She teaches on acoustic quite a lot, some really, really good songs. And she gears them towards beginners and intermediates, or sometimes intermediates and advanced, but nearly always she'll gear them towards beginners and intermediates. And, you know, she's got stuff by the Rolling Stones, by Neil Young. She's teaching Wish You Were Here on there. And she does it in relation to one of the guitar sellers in America. And she teaches for about an hour. There's loads of videos by her. She's a really good teacher. She gets herself across extremely well. But, you know, those are just a few of a lot of really, really good teachers. So if anyone watches this and they're thinking about having lessons but can't really afford it, or they can't get out to have lessons, then definitely have a look at those, because it's helped me a lot. And I'm still using those, but I have decided to have a lesson with a local guy once a fortnight, and it's definitely helping. So that's all for now. See you later. Bye.